And so you mean we got 6 episodes for them to get rid of Rocky, Marvin, and introduce Tommy, Ghost, and then see the death of Breeze, and then Kanan going to prison. You mean we got 5 episodes to see all this take place? You think that's enough time? That was part of the problem with the last Power series when they needed 2 more episodes and they crammed everything in that last episode and it just felt forced and rushed and shit got left out. So you mean to tell me we got 6 episodes to see Rock get it, Marvin get it? I think Marvin pretty much gets killed by the mob. I don't know. Maybe Rocky puts him down because he's out of control. I don't know. So Rocky, Marvin, you still got to bring in young Ghost and young Tommy and somehow convince us that Ghost is so smart and so intelligent and so ahead of the game, so ahead of everybody, for him to spend a couple years under Kanan's wing and then decide to take power for himself and somehow set up Kanan with the tail light, and then Kanan goes to prison, and then that finishes that story arc. This is how are you going to do this? How are you going to do this? Very poor writing. Now, in the Power series, when you had grown adult Kanan, before Jukebox came in, I was rooting for him. I was rooting for him to get revenge on Ghost. I liked the character. Now, the Raising Kanan series has turned me off on the character of Kanan. I'm sitting here like, how did this lead to that, lead to this, lead to that? How did we get to this adult Kanan? And when did the power dynamic between Jukebox and Kanan shift? And I'm still rewatching old episodes, and I'm like, I don't see where the power balance shifted to the point where, because if you watch the series, Jukebox was sunning Kanan. Like, you want me to tell him what happened to you? You want me to tell you, Tariq, what happened to you? Like, how is Kanan such a pussy all of a sudden? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's go through the Reddit. I'm turned off on this young Kanan. I like old Kanan, but very, very piss poor writing. Extremely piss poor writing. So now, did they ever allude in the Power series what happened to his Uncle Lou? Did they ever give y'all hints and clues that Kanan was the one that shot Lou? For all my power heads, now I don't expect too many of y'all to be up in here because it's one of those avant-garde. It's like pate. It's an acquired taste. Okay, so all my power heads, I'm asking y'all, did they ever allude to Kanan killing Lou? Because it's 2 episodes in, but the first episode, season 5 premiere, Kanan goes to kill his mother, Rock. Once again, I keep trying to tell people 50 Cent has a problem with he has unresolved issues with his mama. Every black female head of the family in every one of his series is a reflection of his mama. We can go with Rocky's probably the worst version. The second worst version is the one Mona, played by Mary J. Blige. Those are 2 of the most despicable women you're going to see on TV. 2 of the most despicable black women, disgustingly. And I'm like, that's his mama. Tasha was another angle or facet or another, reminder of his mama. But Monet and Raquel, if you had to sum up 50 Cent's mama, those 2 women, that's his mama. He has some really deep-seated issues that he never got a chance to work out with his mama. Okay, it don't take much to figure that shit out. How he writes, or how they write his female head characters. Anywho, so I can't recall them ever alluding to the fact that his uncle Lou died, because he was close with Lou. I think he was closest with Lou out of everybody, including his mama and Marvin, and even Jukebox to a certain extent. So he goes to kill Rocky because he thinks Rock got Fame killed by the cops, which was, you know what? Okay, so refresh my memory. who greenlit Famous? I know the NYPD killed him, but who gave the order to the cops to kill Famous? Oh, they thought Famous was telling in the records. Never mind. Okay. So they thought Fame was telling through the records, right? And people were kind of getting nervous, but he was starting to pop. But I don't remember who gave. Was it Rocky? Did Raquel give the green light to the cops to take out Famous? Correct me if I'm wrong. Anywho, so after all that, and then, Kanan sees Rocky paying off the cops and all. Now, Kanan's doing his own thing, and now she's competition, blah, blah, blah. He goes to the house to go kill his mother. Lou jumps in, and he has a gun at Rocky. Her bodyguard puts the gun to Kanan, and Lou steps in and says no, and then Kanan turns around and shoots Lou twice in the chest, killing Lou. And I'm just saying, like, what kind? Some of the laziest writing. Some of the laziest writing. Who said that lazy writing? I can't even put that into words. Kanan said in the OG, you don't become a killer until you kill someone you love. But he didn't. That was an accident. That's not like putting down somebody you love. That was an accident. So I can't give him that point of him being a killer. No, he didn't kill Lou. It was an accident, but he wasn't trying to kill Lou. Lou was, a victim of circumstance, right? Them old folk, snaps and pops. Okay, cool. That's right. Remember, because they thought, Kanan thought it was somebody else that killed Famous. And come to find out, he learned the cops did it. Because remember, episode 2, when they took him in for questioning, in the stash house, whatever, and he's like, I know you'll kill Famous. And I hate the way this kid talks. This kid, like, are they mumbling on? Is he mumbling on purpose? Like, I know y'all kill Famous. Yeah. Like, nigga, can you speak? Like, he's the worst. Like, he talks like he's slow. But anywho, so Rocky and the bodyguard dispose of Lou's body. Rocky tells Kanan, hey, don't speak on this, whatever. I mean, just like no emotion for the first 2 episodes. Like, nigga, you just killed your uncle. And all of a sudden, I'm supposed to believe all of a sudden that just kind of made you hardened to life in general because you accidentally killed your uncle. So then Marvin's on a fucking suicide mission looking to kill Neek because he thinks Neek has something to do with it. Neek gets out. So Neek leaves town. Neek was one of my favorite characters. Like, listen, whoever is the wardrobe designer, costume designer for Raising Kanan, Neek's outfits alone. Man, last season, Neek had this motherfucking jacket with the buckles. That shit was so fucking tough. Nigga, every time Neek is on the scene, he is fresh to fucking death. He got the flyest shit on. Got the big ass Nefertiti truck. And just stupid mad, just chunky ass. I mean, he's just so fucking clean. Like, the styling of Neek, perfection. Like, if you're gonna make a drug dealer look like a drug dealer, nigga, that's him. I mean, be having the colored furs and everything's either leather or suede. I just be like, damn, that nigga clean. That nigga clean. Anywho, so let's go here. So I watched the first episode. I wanted to share my thoughts. My conclusion is that there is something seriously wrong with Kanan. I know that we all recognize that Kanan is spoiled, but there's something that runs deeper with him that his whole incident highlights. Kanan killed his uncle on accident as he was about to murder his own mother, mind you, and he couldn't show an ounce of remorse. From the moment Rock let him walk away from killing Lou, he showed no emotion, no reaction, and left her there to pick up the pieces and shield him from the wrath of his uncle and cousin, who would have surely took Kanan up out of here if they found out. Fast forward to the funeral. The mother confronts him with the fact that he ain't even addressed what happened. No sorry, no apology, no thank you. But what did he say? Okay, you expect me to give a damn? I don't. Okay, I don't know if he recognized it or was just oblivious to it, but she was trying to hold on to the last shred of maternal affection, love, and sympathy that she could have for him, and he broke her heart by stomping on that. She kept telling him how she felt in the hope that there was something still there left in Kanan that she could forgive or find redeemable. Listen, this young Kanan is a poorly written character. you're asking me to suspend disbelief that all of a sudden him accidentally killing his uncle turns him into the OG Kanan that we know from the Power series. There's no way. There's no way. Right? And then all my bruh, you late. I've been covering that shit to the last 2 seasons. So you late. Who killed Breeze? Who killed Breeze? All my power heads, who killed Breeze? Because, Breeze was always mentioned in Kanan's upbringing in past reference. So, does Taz kill Breeze? Is that who ends up killing Breeze? Because I can see that happening. But once again, this show, seriously, some of the worst writing, biggest plot holes you could drive a truck through, just lazy. Yeah, nothing like he is. Yeah. So, Ghost killed Breeze. Okay. Young Ghost killed Breeze. Okay, so this is, leave Randy alone. So this is Young Ghost we're talking about. So Young Ghost kills Breeze and then trips the wire in Kanan's tail light, knowing he had dope, hoping he would get pulled over by the cops. A Young Ghost did all this. A Young Ghost. Okay, let's continue. Power Force with Tommy. Trash, bro. Sorry. My wife likes that shit. Trash. Yeah, okay, so this part here. I understand that Kanan has been through some stuff, but he's not a hustler who was forced into the game through the effed up game of life. He chose to get involved in it, even after his mother tried to keep him away from it and told him that there would be consequences for it. He was so thirsty to get in. Yeah, because in the Power series, we were given the impression that he had no choice, but he was forced into the life. And seeing him choose the life and let's see. The fact that he can't empathize with anyone is not normal, and maybe I'm just missing it, or the writers have been setting this up the whole time. But Kanan is like a psychopath or a sociopath. He has no ability to see past his own BS and has limited capacity to feel for people that he hurts or appreciate what somebody is doing for him. Yeah, but until the whole situation with Tariq. So now this makes no sense. Because remember, what season was that? When he died, Tariq was like, it was him. I've been kidnapped, and and then Kanan does what Kanan did. Probably one of the best endings of a bad guy. And he looked at Tariq, and Tariq was like, "Oh my God!" Yeah, he knew Tariq wasn't built like that at the time, right? So he cared about Tariq, because then this whole situation with him and Jukebox, when she threatened to kill him, right? He ended up shooting Jukebox. But once again, a lot of plot holes. I still don't see the dynamic where the power shifted from Kanan to Jukebox, when Jukebox basically became, the big dog and him the little dog. It's just very, very bad writing. Very, 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 very bad writing. Very bad writing. Man, Power Force with Tommy is super trash, man. Okay. I love how it took Kanan killing Lou for people to be like, there's something truly wrong with this boy, when we saw him kill his own son in the future. Bro looked down on the son before he shot him again. Yeah, but once again, sociopaths don't all of a sudden care for people. So once again, that's a huge plot hole for Kanan. That's inconsistency with his character. So either you're a stone cold killer from Jump Street, or you're not. Because he should have killed Tariq in the back of the squad car. He's killing everybody else. He had Dre running for his life, right? Killed one of Dre's guys for talking too much. Like this, OG Kanan was, one of my favorite villains. Like behind Killmonger. Like I put him up there. Like, if you just consistently keep him, just give him a good storyline and a good ending. Man, I put Kanan up there with Killmonger, like as one of my faves, of my favorite bad guys. But now I'm seeing this show, how it's like, we done wasted all of that. You done wasted that entire series. You know why I think Power Force is trash? It just doesn't appeal to me. Tommy is not an interesting character. Tommy is a supporting character. Tommy does not function well by himself. Tommy is best played as a supporting character, no more, no less. Tommy by himself does not interest me as his character. I don't care about what's going on in his life. I never had no interest in Tommy like that. He can't carry a show for me. Just no. I don't care about the Irish mob and Chicago mob and no interest. That show to me is whack. Let's see. Okay, I like this. From watching this series and knowing what we know about Kanan from the original Power series, he's always been dumb and easily manipulated. That's why I don't even know how this nigga made it to adulthood. See what I'm saying? So even they see the inconsistencies in his character. This is bad writing. Okay, his death scene in Power was just like Lou's. Somebody had to identify him in the morgue. Karma came back full circle. Interesting. Kanan is more like Howard Q than Rock. He wanted to be in the game for his ego, not to be helpful. Anytime he was given responsibility, he pissed it away by not collaborating and consistently seeing his mother as an obstacle. She sent him away to VA and he comes back looking for more trouble, won't take the hint that he's not the top dog and sees it as a challenge. He reminds me of Howard, strategic, cunning, narcissistic. Okay. Just like he said about his uncle Marvin, this nigga never missed an opportunity to miss an opportunity. Tariq got to be Kanan's son because he's nothing like Ghost. Okay. Kanan, the character, is literally the worst thing in Power, and raising Kanan extremely unlikable and stupid. See what I'm saying? See, this is bad writing, y'all. This is bad writing. Why is everyone shocked? Kanan took away someone Rock loved, just like she took away people he loved. Okay, so Rock raised a monster that's about to further exploit her weaknesses. Okay, so do we know how his mother died in the Power series? So Unique comes back? No way. So why have him leave then? Oh, they deleted it. Oh, damn. Let's go here. Okay, Neek left. Okay. Yo, I think the only reason Unique decided to hang it up, his son hugged him, then Kanan dang near gave it away that he killed Lou. I don't make the connection, but that's good. That's good writing, subtle stuff. No. So they didn't say it. I like to think Unique realized how bad things were getting with Kanan killing his uncle for almost no reason. Look at this shit. Man, this show is so effing good. Best Power spinoff, even better than your... Oh my God. This is what happens when you don't know what good writing is, y'all. We don't know who or what a famous is. Unique did what Ghost's been trying to do throughout 6 seasons. He made it out. Respect. Okay, Breeze is a ticking time bomb, grimy dude. I hope Unique stay going. Stay going. Fuck him if he decide to come back. Jukebox smart IQ is so interesting to see that she has inherited rock vision, Marvin aggressivity. Is that even a word? Aggressivity? I would say aggressiveness. Okay, Lou stoic attitude. Rest in peace, Akbar. Should have finished that drink. Russo didn't stand no chance. Should have had more security with him, but he was betrayed easily, unlike Sal. Breeze said it. They fighting for whoever feeds them. Okay. The couple who y'all said their names. I forget their names. The bank robbers. That's running everybody. Them snaps and pops. What happens to snaps and pops? You see how many story arcs you have to finish up in 6 episodes and make it feel like it wasn't forced? Like, there's no way. There's no way. This is what I mean with urban shows and the lack of creative writing, just good storytelling. There's 3 acts, and it's okay to have red herrings and misdirections, but you gotta give the characters time to just finish their arc and make it a good arc from start to finish. Kanan has not. They've watered down and wasted. I can't even watch the original Power series with Kanan anymore because it's like I can't. I don't even respect the character now. I used to love Kanan. You understand? When Kanan was like, "Yeah, man, when I kill you, I'm gonna go fuck you, bitch." I was like, "Yeah, kill that nigga, kill Ghost." Like, you understand? Like, I was when the building was on fire. Ain't your guys, "Yeah, nigga, when I get done, I'm gonna fuck your bitch." I'm like, "Yeah, nigga, fuck that bitch." I'm yelling at the screen like, "Yeah, kill that nigga, kill him, kill Ghost." I was heavily invested in Kanan. Kanan for me was the whole reason to watch, because you heard these whispers about Kanan this, Kanan that. Ooh, did you hear remember when Kanan did this? Remember when Kanan did that? He was the boogeyman, and they wrote him so well, just to kind of the hype factor. And you're like, man, I can't wait to see this Kanan guy. When's he gonna show up? And he shows up and he's everything. I'm like, yeah, okay, I can get behind this dude. Matter of fact, I like him because I understand his motivations. A great villain, no matter what the genre is, a great villain has a motivation you can understand. You may not agree with the villain, but you know what? You'd be like, you know what? I get it. I could see why he want to blow up the world. I could see why he wants to poison everybody. I could see Thanos. You can understand why Thanos was like, the world needs balance. I need to restore balance. The Joker, is a madman. Skeletor, I'm a villain. I get it. Great villains, you understand the motivation. Sometimes you find yourself rooting for Killmonger, probably the best villain motivation. And to me, he was not a villain. His actions made him villainous, but to me, Killmonger was not a villain. I mean, he had a mission. I respected his motivation. I understood it. I supported it. Just some of the shit the methods he took was a little bit extreme, but nonetheless, all great villains have a motivation. And then with Kanan, perfect motivation. His homeboy set him up. He wants revenge. I'm with it. Who doesn't love a good revenge story? And raising Kanan for the last 4 seasons has ruined the character of Kanan for me. I cannot watch that shit anymore. I'm talking the OG Kanan. I can't watch it anymore. It's like, nah, it don't even hit the same. What is his motivation to becoming what we saw in season 3? There's no tie-in there. And whatever motivations you're giving him makes no logical sense. It makes no sense. Even if you ask me to suspend disbelief and go into this power universe and be like, okay, let me see if I can try to understand why does this really make sense? I can't even make it make sense to me. I'm trying to make it make sense. It does not. This is a very, very poorly written show. I can't even call it lazy because the writers you have on staff are just have no clue on how to flesh out a character and tell a story. Like, this is the start, this is the finish, and everything else in between, make it make sense. And how do we get from start to finish? Make it make sense. Like, good writers be like, man, would this happen in real life? Would I have done that if that were me? If it doesn't make you question, would I have done that? Or what would I have done? Then it's not good writing. It's not good writing. Listen, we've all listened to all the dope dealer stories from the 80s on up. We know everybody's dope dealing stories. Fat Cat, Renzo, Nicky Barnes, Freeway Ross. We know the niggas in Detroit. The Pony Boys and nigga cocaine cowboys. We know every drug dealer's story. We know every motivation behind every decision they made. And yet somehow the shit that they write on TV is the complete opposite. It makes no fucking sense. How do you mess this up? How do you mess up an urban drug dealer story? It's the most simplistic shit to write. It doesn't take much effort. We know how the story ends. The motivations are either money or women. Like how God damn it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. People still say Killmonger is the second best villain to Thanos and MCU. Hey, listen, to me, who's the best? Hands down. Hands down. Hands down. Hands down. Hands down. Hands down. But I'm so disappointed in this this Raising Kanan series, man. I'm so disappointed. Matter of fact, let's do this. Let's do this. So let's go looking to see if we can find breadcrumbs from the original Power series. Okay? Let's do that, yeah? So who killed let's go here. Let's go here. Let's do the first obvious question. Who killed Kanan? Okay. In the original Power series, the ultimate fate of Kanan's mother, Raquel, remains one of the universe's most debated mysteries. However, the exact circumstances of her demise or whether she is still alive during the main Power timeline have yet to be fully revealed. See what I'm saying? So in the original, here we go, original series inconsistencies. So in the original Power series, Kanan mentions to Ghost and Tommy that he went to see his mom. While some fans interpret this as visiting her alive, others believe he was visiting her grave. Okay, next episode, the official records. After Kanan dies in the original series, a news report states that he has no known surviving next of kin. This heavily suggests she passes away before the events of the original show, though how and when she meets her end remains to be seen. So even the AI is like, y'all messing up. Okay, so let's do this. Who killed Marvin in Power Universe? Let's see here. Okay, or does he get picked up by the cops and gets in the shootout with the cops? I don't know. I don't know. Let's go to the Power Universe wiki. Okay, that's all that. We don't care about all those. Power spinoffs. Well, okay. Well, maybe season 5, season 6. Okay, Power. We don't care about that. Ghost. Raising Kanan 21 the present. Season 3. We're up to season 5, sir. We're up to season 5. Okay, I think it's safe to say that Marvin ends up getting killed at some point. I'm going to assume shootout with the cops because they're closing in on him because the little girl, they keep saying she's lying when she says a white man with tattoos, and one of the neighbors said it was a black guy. It's just a matter of time before they connect the dots to Marvin. Let's go here. Let's see what they say. How it ends for Marvin and raising. Let's see what they say.
You gonna call the police, tell them some white boy with tattoos came in here and did all of that to these people, okay?
Guy came in with a gun, and he was white, and he had tattoos, and he started shooting everywhere.
Well, this is new information.
Now, in this breakdown, we are going to be going through Marvin Thomas, asking the question, how does it end?
I don't know any old, wrinkled drug dealers. They're either dead or inside, Tasha.
I had Ramirez looking to Tariq. Anybody who's around that boy for too long ends up either dead or locked up.
And I ain't dying or going to prison over your stupid shit.
We've heard across Power Book 2 Ghost, Power, and in Raising Kanan, you either end up dead or in jail. Even Ghost in the early stages of Power told Tasha that he doesn't know any old wrinkly drug dealers, they're either dead or inside. And that's the question that I'm going to propose to you guys straight off the bat. We're going into the home stretch for the entire show, so now's the time to ask the question, because we're finally going to get it in the next 7 episodes. Does Marvin survive or not? Or could he end up in jail? I do think they've done a very good job in the last couple of seasons, including also episode 1, which we've just watched, where they...
Okay, hold up. Let me go through the comments. Let me see what they say. I always knew him saving Amber was going to come back to bite him in the ass. I agree. I agree. Odd if Marvin goes to jail for actually doing the right thing. None of us want Uncle Marv to die. He's the balance. No, Lou was the balance. I think Lou was that kept everybody, he was the moral compass. Okay. So either he dies by the cops or the Italians. Because remember, he was working for, was it Sal? Dressed up as a mailman. He hit a capo or a maid man. So the Italians haven't forgotten that. They just don't know who did it. So it's going to end bad for Marvin. But let's go.
Where both are possible. You just never know whether Marvin could go out in a blaze of glory, take one for the family, take one for the team, maybe even sacrifice himself for Duke, or where he ends up in prison due to one of his many mistakes that he has made, one of them being killing Amber's foster parents at the back end of season 4. So that's the agenda for today's breakdown. It's all things Marvin.
Tommy is a typical hothead white boy character. Every time we see a black character and a white character, the white boy is usually the hothead and the brother's usually the calm. We've seen this shit so many different times, y'all. Tommy Egan is not an interesting character at all. He's not. I don't think there's really much you could do with the character like that. He's a supporting piece, not meant to be a lead. He's not that all. It's not all that interesting. Like I said, typical stereotypical hothead white boy. When he's Irish. Oh, okay, that's a stretch. That's a stretch. Let's go.
And whether he ends up dead or in jail.
What?
At the end of Raising Kanan, season 5.
Wow. You ain't never watched that.
Now, at this particular moment in time, Marvin is on a complete rampage. He's on a revenge mission to avenge Lou's death. And I definitely don't blame him. He's had his ups and downs with Lou over the first 2 seasons. But then you started to see a real big shift and the Brotherhood really coming through. They both invested into Cafe Vu. They had a couple of moments together. And we have seen Marvin painting the town red even as early as season 1. That was when Lou was put in hospital by Unique's people. But the problem with Marvin is at this moment in time, and honestly, I do not blame him one bit. As I mentioned in one of my previous breakdowns, I do think this was all of us in episode 1. Okay. We wanted to do exactly what Marvin was doing, paint the town red. But the problem is, when you're in this emotional state, looking for revenge, on the hunt for Unique, who you believe killed Lou, sometimes it just leads you to making more reckless mistakes, dropping more bodies, and potentially leaving something that law enforcement can use to trace back to you. As it is, law enforcement have been hot on his heels for a large portion of Raising Kanan. In season 1, there was also Tony Deep who tried to catch Marvin on a wire. Then we saw how that turned into a complete and utter mess, which ended in Marco Baselli's death. As much as we love Marvin, he is a gangster who does gangster shit. But for some of the things, he definitely doesn't have a good track record. In season 3, he was also hot on Detective Tanner's radar as the man in charge of the projects. And it also got to a point right at the end where they were actually really beginning to close in. Detective Howard said they have to give Marvin up, where he then gave Rock a choice. But that's just scratching the surface when it comes to Marvin being on law enforcement's radar and the mistakes that he's made, the bodies that he's dropped.
Okay, I want to speed this up a bit. I just want to get to the end where he thinks is going to happen and where he speculates. Please don't fall. Please don't fall. Just get down. Get down.
Rock told him no loose ends. He had to go because he was talking to law enforcement about Kanan being the shooter at Baisley Park. But Marvin being Marvin, him trying to change, him trying to do good after all the therapy that he had, he put him on a bus, gave him some money, and told him to get out of New York, don't ever come back. Lo and behold, he came back because you never trust a crackhead. So eventually Marvin did do what he had to do in the end. but whenever Marvin does try and do something good, it never really works out. And this may just end up being the case with Amber. The one time Marvin tries to do the right thing, it then comes back to haunt him, which would be quite a poetic end to his story arc, I do have to admit. Now at the time, Marvin did mention he would circle back around to make sure she was okay, and he did keep that promise. He also mentioned when the cops roll through, tell them it was a white guy with tattoos. Now in 501, we did see Amber return, with law enforcement questioning her around her foster parents' death, because they did know she was kind of swerving from the truth. She kept repeating the same story that Marvin told her to say, which, to be fair to her, she did stick to. But at the end of the day, she's just a kid. Amber isn't someone like Holly from Power who can fob law enforcement off when she was being interrogated. They tried to blackmail Holly, they tried to catch her out, Cooper Sachs, Angela Valdez, but she was way too tough to break. With Amber, she's just a kid. She is strong because of what she's been through and seen, but she is going to make mistakes in her statement, forget what she told them from her earlier statement, changing things from her.
Okay. Let's keep it going. Let's go here.
In the streets, you can guarantee that. But with law enforcement closing in, could Marvin actually end up in jail come the end of season 5? Now, in my opinion, if it was up to me, that's the route I would go down, because I think if Marvin dies, Power fans really will riot. If you think Uncle Lou's death hit everybody hard after episode 1 and made Kanan out to be public enemy number 1, like I've been mentioning across my breakdowns, just imagine if Kanan is somehow involved in Marvin's death, which I would not be surprised one bit if he is. Just before the season began, we spoke about the need to clear the chessboard, we spoke about the need for Breeze and Kanan to move certain characters and players out the game, which would enable them to gain control, and Marvin may be one. We already know he's killed his Uncle Lou, we know in the future he killed Sean and also Duke. Why couldn't he have a hand in Marvin's death if they go down that route instead of jail? Just like I mentioned before the season began, we were going to come back around to Kanan being the cause and the downfall of the Thomas family at some point, and here we are. We're discussing the exact same thing. Would Kanan also be behind Marvin's death instead? It would definitely go a long way in explaining the complete breakdown in relationship between Kanan and Duke. It would explain why Duke also eventually leaves New York because there's nothing left for her here. But in my opinion, and maybe it's just me kind of not wanting Marvin to die, I do think I can probably speak for majority of the Power fans when I say we don't want to see Marvin end up dead.
Well, you didn't want to see Lou dead either, but damn, here we are.
I'm hoping there's a different outcome. If that's jail, then so be it. Maybe at some point he could maybe even make a surprise appearance with someone going to meet him in jail in Power Origins for a specific reason. It would be quite cool just to kind of have that in the locker where you can bring back a familiar face for once.
Okay.